Hey friends, today I want to show you the content download, and let me just remove that. There we go, because that's not what that is. So I'm going to show you an example of I'm going to show you how it works, and then I'm going to show you an example of one that we previously prepared. Here's one I prepared earlier. So how it works is really, really simple. It's going to take about 5 minutes to explain this to you and show you the example. And then you can jump in, and there's a copy of it, should be a copy of it under this video. Make a copy and use it to your heart's content. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we can create 2,000 content ideas in 10 minutes. Now, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes doing this from scratch. I'm just going to explain how it works, and then I'll show you one that we already did so you can see. There is an example video of me doing this with somebody. It's probably underneath of this video if you want to take a look. There was one I did with somebody in the serial killer online business niche. I know that is kind of a weird niche, but if it works for that, it can work for anything. So it was she helps people create brands and amazing brands, and she has like a product which is about it's like serial killer themed online business type products. I can't really explain it very well. You'll be able to see it. So anyway, now inside of this this content download spreadsheet, you can see at the top, content download. We want your main topic here. So the thing that you are doing most of the time. So it may be like the example I'm going to show you is Instagram. Or, you know, if that's your particular thing. Or in this example here, it's exercise, so fitness, and so that's divided into two, exercise and healthy eating. But you could listen, everything that we do here, don't try to get it right. It's literally could be anything. This is just to spark ideas. So this could have been yoga, and this could have been keto. Or, listen, anything. So what we're going to do now is we've got these two, I just call them buckets, and then we just divide them into 5 different sub buckets each. So for example, under exercise, we could still have nutrition, no worries. We can have muscles, we can have cardio, we can have yoga, we can have abs. Like you can think of 1,000 things underneath of exercise. That would be great subtopics. You cannot get this wrong. And under healthy eating here, we've got vegetables, fats, sugar, carbs, and eating plant-based. We could have put any number of other healthy eating things under there. You could put sugar. Oh, there is sugar. You could put keto. You could put Atkins diet. You could put all diets. You could say anything about any type of recipe or food, anything you can imagine. Just divide it up. It doesn't have to be everything. You don't have to find the 5 divisions. Like just put 5 random things. If the point is, if we did this exercise again, you could still have exercise and healthy eating, and you could put 5 totally different things under each of these. So this is really just for brainstorming. You cannot get it wrong. So then what we would do, see, we've got 10 of these columns now. So we would go through, and for 1 minute, we would write as many random things as possible underneath of each of these. So, underneath, let's take sugar again, for example. Underneath sugar, we could have anything that you could, it's like a mind map, right, in the middle, and then you just put little things out that remind you of sugar, anything that's associated. So you could have diabetes, you could have snacks, a particular snack, you could have movie treats, you could have dessert, you could have, what else reminds me of sugar? Donuts, you could have sauces, like sauces from the supermarket or things like that. You could have fat, can you get lots of things. Anything really, you could friggin' put it there and then make the connection later on. So, for example, I just said fat, right? Well, it totally can relate. You can answer the question like, does sugar make you fat? That's a great question to answer when your main topic is like health or whatever. So you can see all these things they have little tiny bridges in the mind map that we're doing here. And it might be easier as a mind map, but I had spreadsheets to work with. So here we are. All right, so now after 10 minutes, now we've got 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10. We've got 10 all along, and that gives us actually 100 ideas. But they're kind of random ideas at this point, right? And so we want to make sure that they are actual ideas of different things to spark something, not just like a random word. So what I'm going to show you now, so when you go through to the next page, you can see here we've got 20, I think, different, or maybe not that many. We've got a whole bunch of different frameworks that we can put in. So I'm going to show you how that works in a second, but we have them all along here. For example, 3 lessons learned from X, why, how I use X in my business, what people do wrong when it comes to X. So these are all just frameworks of like basically headlines that you can pop in any of the things that we have written in our previous spreadsheet. But the cool thing is this actually auto-populates. So if I go to this one here, we've got YouTube, editing and content creation is the main thing. And we've got video editing and content creation. Sure. 2 buckets. Again, they don't have to be like anything specific. And now under video editing, we've got all these different types of things that you can do. Phone editing, tutorial topics, desktop apps, YouTube creators, techniques to use. And then underneath of content creation, we've got live stream videos, YouTube optimization, Instagram content, influencers, and music. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here that is all about your topic, all about your things that you do. And again, if you wanted to do this again, you could create 2 different main things here, and you could create the same ones and then put different subtopics here. So this is, again, you can't get it wrong. It's could be as random as you want and it will still work. So underneath of all of these, we've got tons of different options, right? I mean, these are all things to think about when you're thinking about phone editing. You could use Snapchat, you've got filters, you could use Instagram stories, there's TikTok, there's mobile videography, you could talk about lenses. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff in here. All these live stream videos things, StreamYard, Zoom streaming, teleprompters, LinkedIn Live. I mean, these are just a lot of stuff. You can see we didn't think of everything here, so I just filled them out with person 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think we did this in about 10 minutes, and the person I was doing this with couldn't think of any, it was a lot of pressure, and so I just put this so you could see how it's going to turn out in the next screen. So we've done the same thing here as I showed you in the previous health example, and now we're going to go over to part 2. And what it does is actually auto-populates everything that we put in here, okay? So in part 2, everything that we put auto-populates into this thing. And it runs them down the screen. Okay, it runs them down the screen. So you can see 3 lessons I learned from X. Now, we could say 3 lessons I learned from TikTok, or 3 lessons I learned about transitions, or 3 things you need to know about filters. I mean, these here are just sparks. They're spark ideas to help you to give some idea of what you can talk about for your next topic, your next video, your next blog post, etc. There are so many options. It's actually insane. And you can see how person 1, 2, 3, and 4 have shown up in here in the way that they do. And the same thing all the way along. Now this I think is an old version that I've got here, so it hasn't populated all the way, but the new version that you'll see will populate all the way down for each thing. So we can see, with X versus without X. So like adding titles versus not adding titles, using Facebook or using stories versus not using stories, putting something on IGTV versus not, audiograms versus, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much stuff in here, and it's actually all the way along. Yeah, this is definitely an old version. But it's the same type of thing. So, what people do wrong when it comes to iMovie. I mean, it's a great piece of content for someone who is, you know, talking about YouTube and content creation. What people do wrong when it comes to color grading. What people do wrong when it comes to sound mixing. I mean, there's a whole bunch of really great topics here that are awesome content that people will want to watch. And all these types of videos and content can be blog posts, they can be videos, they can be live videos, they can go on YouTube, they can be little clips that you do for 2 minutes. Man, there's so much stuff. A deep dive into whatever X is. So when you've got these, you can actually just scroll and, you know, think, okay, what could we use? Ask me anything about ads. Ask me anything about Instagram TV. Like, these are all things, I mean, and actually let me say this as a disclaimer, not everything is going to work in here. Like, some things don't make sense, and it's fine. It's just skip those ones, or think of something better that you could say. Like, for example, what people do wrong when it comes to Casey Neistat. That doesn't work. You can't do a piece of content like that. It would be weird. It wouldn't make sense. But you could say, what I think Casey Neistat is doing wrong, or what people have wrong about Casey Neistat. You know, it's like maybe a myth or something like that. Or you just totally ignore this whole column. Like, up to you. Everything here is just to spark an idea, and there's you know, there is 20 across the screen here, and so that makes 100 down and 20 across makes 2,000 content ideas that you can access anytime and just scroll and find something really good. So I hope that's helpful for you. I don't want to make this video too much longer. It's definitely longer than I wanted it to be. But you can get 2,000 content ideas. This is definitely an old version. 2,000 content ideas in 10 minutes just using this. And you'll see the link for it underneath. Make a copy. If you've got questions, or if there's any issues, or you can think of a way to make it better, you know, really happy to do that and answer you. I'll answer you if you write to me at beck@powercreative.me. You can also get support at powercreativemedia.com. And the links for that are under this video as well. I hope that's helpful for you, and I will catch you soon.